Okay, finishing up this problem here, we had 2 over 1 times 5 over 6, and 2 over 1 times 3/8. 2 times 5 is 10, 1 times 6 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6, and 1 times 8 is 8. Now, we need to simplify this. We could break 10 down to 2 times 5, and we could break down 6 to be 2 times 3. These 2's will simplify out and leave you 5/3. These 2's here would simplify out and leave you 3/4 because 6 breaks down to 2 times 3, and 8 breaks down to 2 times 4. Now we need to find our common denominator. The common denominator of 3 and 4 is 12. So 4 times 3 is 12, and 4 times 5 is 20. Common denominator is 12. To get 12 from 4, we multiply by 3, so we multiply the numerator by 3. 3 times 3 is 9, and 4 times 3 is 12. 20 twelves plus 9 twelves give you 29 twelves feet. And that is it for that problem. Okay, now we come to number 2. It says the following diagram represents a scale drawing of a room. Find the width of the door. So this is how we would have to do this. Okay, now we know that this is in the shape of a rectangle. So since this is in the shape of a rectangle, we know this side and this full side is the same measurement. So if we took the full measurement minus what we have here, then we will have our answer. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the full measurement of that side, which is 3/4, minus the addition of these two pieces of that side. So now we will put that in parentheses. Now we're going to take 1/4 plus 1/3. The common denominator of 4 and 3 is 12. Now we know 4 times 3 is 12, so we multiply this 1 by 3. That gives us 3/12. 3 times 4 is 12, and 1 times 4 is 4. 3/12 plus 4/12 is 7/12, and that's a positive 7/12. Now we would take 3/4 minus the 7/12. Common denominator of 4 and 12 is 12. We know to get 12, 4 times 3 is 12, so we have to multiply this numerator by 3. So I could show that here about 3 over 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And then since this already had 12 as the denominator, we bring it down as is. 9 minus 7 is 2, and we carry over our 12. We could simplify this out. 2 would be in our numerator, and we could simplify 12 out to be 2 times 2 times 3. These two simplify, and you have 1 over 6 feet. And that is it for that problem. Here to number 3. It says the circle graph below shows the results of a survey of 300 registered voters. Okay, now it gives us the fractional amount, Democrat, Republican, Independent, and don't plan to vote. Okay, now we have A. It says what fraction of those surveyed said that they will vote for the candidate from one of the two major parties? Now, we have the Republican Party, which is 1/3, and the Democratic Party, which is 2/5. So we just need to add them up to get the fractional equivalent. Now, if you look here, 3 and 5, the common denominator is 15. Because if we go off to the side here, the prime factorization of 3 is 3, prime factorization of 5 is 5. So we know our LCD will be that 3 times 5, which is 15. That's how we get 15. Now we could divide this. 15, the new denominator divided by the old denominator. 15 divided by 3 is 5, and we multiply by the numerator, which is 5. So we're really multiplying this by 5 over 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, so we multiply this numerator and denominator by 3. So 5 times 1 is 5, and 2 times 3 is 6. We carry over our 15, and 5 plus 6 is 11. So our final answer is 11/15. Now we come to B here. It says how many of those surveys said they will vote for the candidate from one of the two major parties. Now we know in A we got 11/15, and we have to multiply by the total amount of voters, which is 300. Now we could go off to the side and take the prime factorization of 300. It'll be 3 times 100. We know 3 is prime. We could take this 100 and make it 5 times 20. And then 20 is 5 times 4. And 4 is 2 times 2. So our prime factorization is 2 2s are 3, and 2 5s. So we would have 11, which is prime, times we have a 3, 2 2s, and 2 5s, which we have here. And our denominator, we know the prime factorization of 15 is 3 times 5. These 3's simplify out, these 5's simplify out. 11 times 2 is 22, times 2 is 44, times 5 is 220. So 220 divided by 1 is 220. Now we go here to C. If those who said they don't plan to vote could be persuaded by the independent candidate to vote for him, what fraction of the voters surveyed would now be voting for the independent candidate? Now, the independent candidate is 1/10 and the undecided voters is 1/6. We have to find a common denominator of 10 and 6. So we can go off to the side here. 10 breaks down to 2 times 5, and 6 breaks down to 2 times 3. Now to find our LCD. Remember, if they match up, we count it once, and nothing else matches up. So 2 times 3 times 5 will give us 30. So your LCD is 30. Now we say 30 divided by 10 is 3. So we'll multiply this numerator and denominator by 3. And 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 10 is 30. Now we say 30 divided by 6 is 5. So we multiply the numerator and denominator by 5. 6 times 5 is 30, and 1 times 5 is 5. We carry over our 30. 3 plus 5 is 8. Now we take the prime factorization of our numerator, which is 2 times 2 times 2, and the prime factorization of our denominator, which is 2 times 3 times 5. These two simplify out, and it'll leave you 2 times 2, which is 4, and 3 times 5, which is 15. So it leaves us 4/15. Now we go down here to D. It says, after the change described in Part C, how many of those surveyed would now be voting for the independent candidate? So we will have 4/15 times 300 over 1. Now we already did the prime factorization of 300, which was, we had 2 2's, 2 5's, and a 3. And the prime factorization of 4 is 2 times 2. Now the prime factorization of 15 is 3 times 5, and we simplify out our 5's and our 3's. Now we're left with 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 5 is 80. And we know everything that simplifies out here in the denominator will give us 1. 80 divided by 1 is 80. So our final answer here is 80.